All right, let's have ourselves a Tuesday broadcast. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back into Studio 412. It's great to be with you guys. It's good to see you all out there. See many friendly faces in the chat piling on in. We've got another good show for you. Lots to get into. It's like the first show in a while where I don't think we're going to have a special guest. I think it's just going to be Pinata and I hanging out today once he's done with his wonderful show, Thinking Logically. Many of our fam are still over there. If you're over here, though, jump in the chat and say hello. We'll do our little roll call and get this thing officially underway at the top of the 4 o'clock hour like we always do. I think I'm about good and situated. All right, let's go. Let's start with the chat over on DLive. QOys, always holding that down for us. Good to see you over there, QOys. And I'll pop in over on X as well. Shout out to all the Twitter viewers. You see there's a handful of you guys out there as well. Jump in the chat. The Twitter chat is always very slow, I feel like. And maybe it's because we haven't paid attention to X in the chat over there well enough, but hopefully we'll continue to build that out. Of course, pilled.net is the main place to watch, so if you haven't found your way over there, you should, because we do our 5 o'clock hour exclusively on the platform. All right, who is hanging out over on Pilled today? Let me get up to the top of my chat. All right, Floyd, due diligence. What's going on, man? Lightspeeder Lance, good to see you. Patriot 714 and HL Paco all popping in early with D Richard as well. Floyd with a fat ass Taco Tuesday. Thank you, sir. Joe Elaine modding all of our chats. She's the best. We love her. Thank you, Joe, for all that you do. Ken Chris, it is good to see you as well. Our Harold hanging out with us this afternoon. Good to see you. Truth Teller 101. Barb Robbins. Good to see you, Barb. And Floyd with a can as well says, cheers to another happy grandpa. Congratulations, Floyd, on your first grandchild. That's amazing. Was it a boy or a girl? Granddaughter or grandson? I'm pretty sure you said it was going to be a daughter, but I don't know. I get so foggy sometimes with everything going on. I can't remember everything. Laura Anon, good to see you. Hope your day is getting better and better. Ruby 317, Belushi in the house. We got Pensitter, KG, welcome. Snow Bunny 68, Mr. McBastard out there as well. Caustic and Abrasive, Range Pony. Hey, Smashly, what's up? Smash Memes in the house. Good to see you. Nina Rocks, Kyrez, Laura Y, repping the 412. Let's go. And good afternoon, Mr. Gerardo. Boys Blanc, good to see you, Terry. Welcome. And who else? Lyle, Jenny, Curious One, Packers 412, always hanging out with us. Love it. Finster, good to see you. Best Nani ever. Dropping a can. Happy Tuesday. I hope all's well, Best Nani. Give us an update when you can. Rippin' Road, good to see you. Tavelius is out there. Cynthia, Faithful Mom. Welcome, all you guys. Mike the Madman, Sulfanol. Good to see you all. Granddaughter. Well, congratulations. You're a very blessed man, Floyd. Very, very blessed. A Brook 13, Dognuts 10. And, oh, thank you very much, Lauren. That's very sweet. Facts Not Fear. How you doing, Tweety52? I might be repeating some of these now. ADT with some gold pills says hello 412 in chat. Greenbeard with the can of whoop ass. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate you, brother. Wow. All right. It's 401. Lucy Anders, good to see you. Kaz 1012, welcome. And let's get this show underway. We'll be right back, everybody.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
y'all for tuning in. Patriots united, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted to MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong and stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adult Nero is the power that's controlling the plight. With all the patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sights? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replacing with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're homeless and advised to start raising our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops. Now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess. They want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right knowing they're wrong. Adult Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adult Nero.
All right, let's get this one officially underway. Welcome back into the studio, everybody, for another installment of Deplorable Discussions. My name is Adult Nero. It is February 25th, 2025, and I, at the moment, am riding solo. I do see that the raid is about to be incoming from our brother Drunk Pinata. He's hosting us over on D-Live, so I expect I'll be joined by Pinata here any minute. But it is great to be with you all, and thank you guys so much for spending some of your Tuesday afternoon with me here on the broadcast today. Do me a favor, as you guys pile on in, hit that red pill button and repost the show if you're on Pilled. Wherever you're watching, please share the link. And to all of you guys that have a Twitter account or an X account, as always, it does us, it really helps when you all go out there and like and repost the Twitter broadcast. That's very helpful as well when it comes to finding some new people. So please go hook us up with all of that. Give us a hand. And also, we are starting to release and put clips and shorts from the show on Instagram Reels, trying to take advantage of that massive user base over there. So if you guys don't mind finding us, 412 Productions TV over on Insta, I'm putting the link in all of the chats. So if you're on Rumble, D-Live, or Twitter, I'll have those links in the chats over there. Please come give us a follow on Insta if you're on there. I know a lot of people in this audience don't do Instagram and Facebook and all that, which I totally understand. But if you do happen to have an account and you don't mind, just help bump those numbers a little bit. I don't know how their algorithms work or really anything about those platforms. This is my first foray into the world of Instagram and TikTok and all that. And I think Laura will help share the TikTok link. I don't have that one readily available. Maybe I do. She sent that to me actually. No, I don't have the link, but Laura does. She could help us out with that. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys. Um, I do appreciate you guys. Helping us grow across all these different platforms. We got to strike while the iron is hot, and it's never been hotter than it is right now. And another big congratulations to one of our most loyal listeners out there. That is Floyd Standifer. You guys know him as Due Diligence. He became a grandfather less than an hour ago with the birth of his granddaughter. So everyone, please just a little prayer for Floyd and his family. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. There's a little prayer for Floyd and his family and everyone's health. And make sure you wish him a major congratulations out there in the chat. He's a big part of the fam. We love him. And he's a grandfather now, so I think that's super sweet. And yeah, congratulations, brother. He sent me a picture of the little one, and she's super sweet. So we love to see our Patriot family continue to grow. So some fun and wonderful news to start our Tuesday broadcast. And it looks like Drunk Pinata is about to jump in here, so we'll welcome him up onto the stream in just a second. Here we go. There he is, my brother, Drunk Pinata. How we doing?
Doing all right. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's Tuesday. The week feels like it's kind of crawling along. Work has been very busy, but it's all good. I'm here with the fam, and there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be right now. I was thinking logically.
I had to go in today. We just kind of went over the MSNBC massacre that occurred, and how it was totally 100% racist.
Yeah,
That only the people of color were all let go.
I've got a bunch of stuff on that. So I don't know. Do you want to just start with that today, or do you want to wait until it's like halfway through my stack? So it's up to you. If you want to get into that now, we can. Or if you had something you wanted to play on that, we can. Or if you want to hold it till then, or I don't know what your plan was here.
I didn't really have a plan. Just it was Keith Olbermann yesterday had kind of like made one of his emergency like re-uploads with a special message on this because he had made like a whole show on the firing of Joy Reid over the same reason, and then he had basically clamored and wanting Rachel Maddow to protest in some way. So apparently she said something during her show about how it was a big mistake and things like that, but ultimately, and she did make mention that's like, oh, you're getting rid of all these people and only leaving the white people. So they like she said that. So it was like a little bit of a protest over there on their network or whatever. And I mean, the thing about it is I don't think any of those people that they fired is any better or worse than any of them. I think the weekend people that they fired are actually not incredibly biased, or let me like they're not the worst offenders is what I mean about they some of them play a little bit more straight, but they're still lying, they're still perpetuating it. I'm not saying that they're truthful. I'm just saying
Right.
that they're not as like egregious as like a Nicole Wallace or someone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there are some that are extremely over the top and antagonistic, and others that are more subtle and coy about how they subvert the messaging and the narrative. So I agree. Some of them are meant to piss you off. Like they're literally there to elicit like an emotional response, and others are there to more like, slyly form your opinion. I guess I don't know what the exact point of it all is. I guess like a hammer and scalpel kind of thing, or a sledgehammer and scalpel kind of way of doing things with their propaganda would be the best way to describe it. But no, it's good to have you aboard, man. We're gonna get to all that. Let me just let's do this. Let's get our sponsor done, and I'm just gonna work through this stack. And when we get to MSNBC, and we will spend some time on that today. If there's anything that you want to play or add or share with the class. We'll give you some time to do that, Pinata. But first, earthgardenbotanicals.com, run by our friend Jolene up in Montana, is our sponsor today. Wonderful wellness products made with organically and locally sourced ingredients, given like a top-notch value for these products. The quality's amazing, the price is competitive. You really can't go wrong. The best CBD oils I've ever used come from earthgardenbotanicals.com. Amazing flavors. My favorites personally are the orange ginger bergamot and the huckleberry, but I've tried every last one of them and they're all very good. Peppermint, cinnamon bliss, cherry. There's something for everybody with the CBD oils. Or CBD oil for pets and an arnica salve topical cream for sore joints and muscles. Now you can get that with or without CBD infused. I like it with the CBD infused. It's been like really helpful. I have a terrible tennis elbow on my right arm, and I've been using that after my workouts at the gym, and it's really helped to alleviate the soreness after it kind of flares up. There's fire cider, really good for clearing your sinuses if you're feeling stuffed up. Elderberry tonic to help boost your immune system, and the pine needle extract or the sunshine pine needle tea to promote the detox throughout your body. Colloidal silver, which has a number of really great uses, and then the critter juice, the all-natural insect repellent, really good for keeping the mosquitoes and bugs away. Now, I know this time of year that's not a huge concern, but if you're running low, you might want to order now and have it ready for when the weather warms up and those little pests come back around. Promo code 412 at checkout will get you your 15% discount off everything you see here in the store. So load up that cart, say hi to Jolene for us. And yeah, just as always, a big thank you to you guys who continue to support our sponsors, especially Earth Garden Botanicals, who's been with us, I think, the longest at this point. So I think that's all the housekeeping. Let's just jump right in with the story. I think what is the big story right now, or at least in my opinion, is the big story, and that is this: Anna Paulina Luna calling out Pam Bondi publicly on X over these files that she wants unsealed. It says, AG Pam Bondi, we saw over the weekend you are reviewing all files from JFK to Epstein. We are all anticipating their release. When will they be declassified and available to the public? And she had another one here too, where she was calling out where was this? Here we go. On February 11th and the February 19th, House Oversight sent a letter to the DOJ asking for status on releasing the Epstein files as well as JFK, etc. The DOJ has not responded, reaching out on X because we can't seem to get a response from the AG. AG Pam Bondi, what is the status of the documents? These documents were ordered to be declassified. So it's interesting here. We know Pam Bondi has them on her desk. She has said as much. She said she was reviewing them. Benny Johnson of the Benny Johnson show was, I believe it was at CPAC. He was in Washington, D.C. It was either right before or after Kash Patel was confirmed by the Senate. He went up and asked Pam Bondi about the documents and asked her if, there actually going to be movement on this, or if it was just lip service to the promise. She seemed very certain that, this was going to move forward and these were going to be released. She later went on Fox News and said the same thing, that, she's reviewing the documents and it's a promise that the president made that they intend on keeping. I think a lot of people are eagerly awaiting this, including some members of Congress, clearly. Anna Paulina Luna leading the committee on declassification. And, is already publicly kind of calling out, I would say, Pam Bondi over the speed in which this is all developing. Now, I am not ready to throw Pam Bondi under the bus even a little bit. I mean, you're talking about some of the most sensitive and groundbreaking or paradigm shattering disclosures that we might ever have. I'm sure that you have to be careful and go through it all with a fine-tooth comb to make sure you're presenting it to the American people properly. I'm hoping that we're not going to get something loaded with redactions and continuing to protect the worst of the worst predators out there. But we'll have to wait and see. But I do find it interesting that you're already getting like this public social media, calling out of the attorney general here. Very very shortly after she said she had the files on her desk. Now, there's more to the story, and we're gonna get into that as well. But it seems like this might get a little bit contentious uh, the longer it takes. Now, what's also funny here is Representative Ilhan Omar claims Pam Bondi is protecting someone since the Epstein files have yet to be released. So, uh, again, not something you'd expect to see from anybody on the left, but here we are. Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat from Minnesota, took to X on Tuesday and claimed Attorney General Pam Bondi is protecting someone since the Jeffrey Epstein files have yet to be released. In a post on X, Omar wrote, "The AG still not releasing the Epstein files is weird." She added it raises the questions of who she might be protecting. Her comments come a day after Representative Anna Polina Luna called out AG Bondi over the slow roll of the Epstein files release. Luna stated, quote, "AG Bondi, we saw over the weekend that you were reviewing all files, and I just read that. Per The Hill, the alleged client list of disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is on Attorney General Pam Bondi's desk," she said in an interview Friday, making the elusive document one step closer to potential public release. Bondi said that she has not yet seen the major revelations from the closely guarded document, but she's in the process of reviewing it at President Trump's direction under an executive order to declassify federal secrets. Quote, "It's sitting on my desk right now to review," Bondi told Fox News. "That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that." Epstein, who hobnobbed around, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is why the Ilhan Omar thing is interesting to me. We know she is extremely anti-Israel. I think we all have a pretty good understanding. Oops, didn't mean to do that. A pretty good understanding that Jeffrey Epstein was likely Mossad working a honeypot blackmail scheme through Israeli intelligence. And I think Ilhan Omar is, wanting to see Israel with a little egg on their face. She knows that the Trump administration is at least publicly facing very pro-Israel. And I think she's essentially trying to call them out for potentially protecting their friends in Israel. Now, I don't know how much truth there is in any of that, but I do think the fact that it is Ilhan Omar makes it pretty interesting here. Now, again, I think it's a way too fast to be calling out Pam Bondi. Now, if this goes another week or two and we still don't have anything or any updates, then yeah, I'm gonna start to have get a bit impatient myself. But I feel like we owe Pam Bondi at least to the end of this week to give us some kind of update or reassurance or provide something in relation to the release of these documents. Because there's a lot. She said there's a lot to go through. So, we'll wait and see what happens. Now, there was an FBI whistleblower that went on, I guess it's the Benny Johnson show as well. And he was talking about how the FBI is feverishly working to destroy evidence, destroy files that sits on FBI secure servers. Now, this is the kind of thing that'll make your blood boil a little bit. But again, it shouldn't be all that surprising. Take a listen to this exchange between Benny and this FBI whistleblower. Forgive me, I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
You maybe give us a closer in perspective as to what the subversion is happening inside of the building right now. I mean, it's obviously you're going to have like an antibody reaction.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a big one.
Oh, I need to share my sound with Pinata here. Sorry, guys. There we go.
Is happening inside of the building right now. I mean, it's obviously you're going to have like an antibody reaction to somebody
Absolutely.
like Cash.
I'll give you a big one that I heard recently, which was already passed on, is that there are FBI servers that are sort of standalone, and people inside the FBI have been working night and day to destroy files on these servers. And I was told that once these files are destroyed, the way they are set up, that even Elon Musk could not restore them. So that's happening right now as we speak. That's happening with Kash Patel being the director. It was happening before he got there. And so that subversion, like I said, started immediately. And it's only going to continue. These people, and here's another example. I was told last week, right out of the gates, Kash Patel came out and said 1,500 people, 500, you're going to Alabama. You're still going to be headquarters personnel. You're going to Alabama. 1,000 of you, you're going out to the field. He said this long before the election, even, that he said if he was in charge, he would say, let cops be cops, and so go out and be cops. Already, people are saying, we are not going to comply with that. We are going to make it seem as if we transferred. We're going to do what they call, quote unquote, paper transfers, and we're not going to obey these lawful orders. I don't know if you heard Stephen Miller in the last few days. He came out and has given a great civics lesson on Article 2 of the Constitution. The FBI falls under the executive branch, and you have these career bureaucrats who say, no, we answer to no one. Well, hopefully that's going to change, and I think under Kash Patel and Dan Bongino leadership, I think it will. But they've got to root out this subversion first.
Somebody who works inside of the West Wing came up to us in a private setting when we were in D.C. and said, you would not believe the number of times that my office has to be swept for bugs.
It's crazy.
And inside the White House has to be swept by agencies to figure out if there's electronic monitoring that's happening to us on a daily basis. It's crazy. Any idea what's on the servers that's so damning that it has to be siloed into such a secure facility with the lack of redundancy or capacity for anybody to go through and sort of from like digital forensics, right? You can uncover most data that's deleted, you can uncover it in some capacity. So somebody's worked very hard to make sure that this data that you're talking about can be deleted and destroyed forever. Any idea what it is?
No idea on what it is. I can only speculate, but you mentioned the Epstein list. I'd imagine it's cases like that. It's intel cases that are very siloed, very secretive. And I'm sure there's probably even information regarding the FBI's own subversive measures against Americans, against American politicians, for instance. We learned over the last few days that the Oval Office was bugged, and they took out the Resolute desk to inspect it more. Who's doing that type of thing, Benny? It's going to be, if they're operating at all as they should be, it's going to be the FBI.
All right, so there you have it. He talks about just all kind of subversion within the FBI, but most notably in this clip, talking about an evidence destroying operation that's been going on prior to Donald Trump getting in, up until right now, apparently maybe even still actively happening, where you have secure standalone FBI servers that they are, I guess, like bleach bidding the data off of. So I don't know, like this whole thing. I'm not discrediting this whistleblower or what he's saying or where he's heard it. I don't know, but the whole thing seems kind of weird to me, because you have Pam Bondi saying she already has the documents on her desk. You have this guy saying that evidence is being destroyed as we speak, which, okay. And then, I remember Q telling us back when that we have it all. We have it all. We have it all. So were those servers really standalone? Did military intelligence or the NSA happen to make backups of those unbeknownst to the FBI at some point, knowing that there was crazy criminal activity going on? The whole thing is you're just getting all these different little updates and storylines surrounding all these deep dark secrets that the public is eagerly waiting to be unsealed and disclosed to the American people. So I find the whole thing very interesting. But it does not surprise me to hear that you have rogue agents, holdovers in the FBI, working feverishly to destroy evidence of wrongdoing. It doesn't surprise me one bit that you have people faking transfers or paper transferring subverting Kash Patel's earliest orders as the incoming director of the FBI. And again, to me, it speaks to how far the institution has fallen, and how badly it needs massive reform. There is going to be pretty much an all-out war, I feel like, in a lot of these agencies, especially ones like the FBI and the CIA and all these intelligence communities who, for a long time, have felt like they lived above the law. They were too important to follow the Constitution or the law, that, the American people really had no right to have any idea what it was they were doing or how they were doing it. They really seem to have forgotten who it is they work for, honestly. And that is the American people. There seems to be a real loss of perspective by a lot of the people in these organizations. And, people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, John Ratcliffe, Tulsi Gabbard, they're going to have their work cut out for them to really isolate, remove, and honestly prosecute these people. If you have people that are destroying evidence, especially things that have been ordered to be unsealed and disclosed to the American people, those people need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You need to have accountability. You need to again identify and clean out these rogue actors. Otherwise, it's going to just continue to be business as usual within these departments and agencies, and that's not what we voted for. We voted for sweeping and catastrophic reform on all of them. So we'll continue to follow this and see what happens. I expect a major update from Pam Bondi soon on this. I think that the longer she goes and stays silent on the issue, the more skepticism and uncertainty that is going to drive into the America First movement here. We want swift and quick action. No more slow walking. No more half disclosures. We want the full story. The public needs to see it. It's been ordered by the president. It's time to deliver a knockout blow to the predators that have been running our government, and running in these elite circles around the world for a long time. It's time to expose the old guard for what it is. And right now, I think Pam Bondi is kind of the gatekeeper to all of that. So we'll see when and how that stuff comes out. I still have full confidence and faith that Pam Bondi is exactly who we hope she is, and she is going to do right by the American people. And if she doesn't, well, we know how quickly Donald Trump will remove somebody and throw an acting person in there to do his bidding. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out here over the coming days. Any thoughts from you, Pinata, on Anna Paulina Luna calling out Pam Bondi already? Kind of crazy.
Well, I'm not actually kind of surprised, because I think yesterday she was actually getting dragged because of her saying that her committee is going to reviewing these documents about 9/11, some other stuff, and people are like, we don't want another gatekeeper. Why are you being another gatekeeper? Just release what you have when you get it. Like, don't try to do what, So my guess is that she's calling out Bondi today because she got called out yesterday.
Potentially, yeah. Kind of spread some of that frustration around. That makes sense, actually. Maybe that's simply all that is a deflection.
Which is fine. I mean, as long as the people they're responding, our representatives are responding to our um, requests.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean,
Pressure.
let's think about it this way too, right, Pinata? If these people on the list are going to be prosecuted and arrested, like, you don't release that ahead of time, right? Like, you impanel a grand jury, you get indictments, and then you charge these people. If you're to release the list ahead of time on people that you're planning on having a criminal investigation. I mean, doesn't that undermine the investigation, the jury pool, their potential future jury pool, and all that? Like, I feel like
They
they're
could still say that she could still say, I looked at this, I found something that's potentially actionable
Mhm.
and that we're reviewing because we don't want to get ahead of any potential indictments. That she could say that.
Yeah, and that's I would expect. I honestly expect that more than I expect just like, all right, here's a dump of every name that's on there, because I want, like, I don't just want exposure for these people. Like, they need to be held accountable. We're talking about trafficking and raping children. Um, we're not talking about like minor traffic ticket procedural crimes here. These are some of the most like horrible things that you could ever do. So if you have them dead to rights on this stuff, I don't care who they are, uh, you can't do anything that's going to undermine the investigation. So again, I just want an update. I don't necessarily expect, them to just publish the list all at once and just, that's that. I expect accountability for the people on it. Um, and I expect disclosure to come through prosecution and investigation. So that might be what's holding it up as well. Anyway, there you go. That is what I thought was the most interesting story rolling into our Tuesday broadcast today is Anna Paulina Luna already kind of calling out Pam Bondi, but I love it. I do like it. I like the passion. I like the fact that there's such a push for this stuff to come out. It's no longer just like people on the boards or anonymous accounts or independent media clamoring about Jeffrey Epstein and the client list. You now have a massive piece of the Republican Party demanding this come out. President Trump, his attorney general, his director of the FBI, all talking about this topic. I think it's inevitable that we get transparency here. I don't think that they could possibly walk back this promise to expose this stuff to the American people with a straight face. I think it would destroy the credibility of the Trump administration if they fail on this massive promise that they've made to disclose all of these things that have been kept unfairly from the American people for so long. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not getting too worried about it yet, but I am very interested to see what the next move is here and how Pam Bondi responds to all of this, which, like I said, I expect something here in the coming days. And I see our brother M3 Methods out there. Good to see you, man. I hope all is well, sir. All right. And Filter Dog, thank you for the can. He just dropped this in the chat. It says, Cash Patel and the FBI are now investigating James Comey's 2016 spying on Trump campaign. The covert operation revealed by a whistleblower involved 2 female agents infiltrating Trump's team as honeypots. The investigation seeks to uncover the origins of the FBI's secret plan to infiltrate the campaign. All right. That's from Shadow of Ezra, who is a good follow. I think I follow this account. But there's no sauce here that I could see, just him talking about it. So I don't know what there all is really to that. But thank you, Filter Dog, for sharing that. And then let me see what this is here, because Kim I was tagging me in something too. All right, let's see what you got here, Kim. All right, this is unrelated to this, but I'll bring it up here. A tragic and alarming incident occurred near Brownsville, Texas, where a U.S. citizen and Texas rancher was killed by an improvised explosive device, or IUD. Yeah, that's awful. Tom Fitton says war. So I guess that might be near the border, a cartel maybe planted that device. I don't know, but yeah, the Mexican drug cartels, again, wipe him off the face of the earth. I've no problem with that whatsoever. Use the full and total force of the United States military to kill every last member of those drug cartels. You won't get a damn tear out of me over any of them. That's for sure. All right. Where am I going from here? All right. Sorry, guys. Got a little distracted. Okay. I wanted to play this as well. This is now CNN going back and forth with Scott Jennings. I can't remember. I can't remember this is Abby Phillip and going back and forth with Scott Jennings about the qualifications of Dan Bongino. So let's take a listen to this and we'll talk about it.
But I just, if I may address one issue. You just denigrated Bongino's law enforcement credentials. He was a cop and a Secret Service agent. You denigrated his academic credentials. He has a master's degree.
Just because he was a police officer doesn't make him qualified to run a 38,000 person, $11 billion budget agency, just like Pete Hegseth.
But you know what does? Because he
National Guardsman or everyone doesn't either. Thank you for your service.
The confidence and the pleasure of the president.
Whose judgment is terrible.
And I'm sorry that you are not yet over the outcome of the election.
No, because look at what's happening to our country. And I'll never be over it, Scott. This is dismantling our democracy in front of our eyes, and you guys are okay with it.
We had a city that was smaller than the amount of people that live on this block, and he was the Secretary of Transportation. You had the guy who was stealing luggage. I mean, I think anyone who's defending at any point defending the Biden administration.
But this is the FBI.
So?
Okay.
Yeah, and this is someone who has a career in law enforcement for many years.
Does Dan Bongino have the qualifications to be the second person in charge of the FBI?
Yes, he has law enforcement, he has academic, and again, let me just stress this. I've mentioned this before.
So when you stack up his credentials
they serve at the pleasure of the president. That's the political appointment.
I know that is the answer to every question, is that Donald Trump wants it, so therefore it is good.
For political appointments, yes.
When we look at, we're talking about people who are qualified and not, and you look at his resume and compare it to Republican and Democrat nominees for that same position, is he qualified?
I mean, first of all, I'm not sure all the people that have been appointed in the past have covered themselves in glory. And some of them have done a terrible job and gotten in lots of trouble.
Look,
and this is a reform-minded administration. They got outsiders.
All right. I think this is extremely funny, that they're trying to paint Dan Bongino as unqualified. They're scraping through his background, and Scott Jennings rightly brings up Pete Buttigieg, or the other guy brings up Pete Buttigieg and the weird guy that was stealing
energy secretary.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was stealing luggage or whatever. So he brings up that stuff. But it's funny to me, Dan Bongino, according to the left and Democrat mindset, is qualified just based on one thing. He's not white. He's not a white guy, right? He's mixed with something. I don't know what his ethnicity is, but he's not a white guy. He's a brown guy. Isn't that enough? I mean, these are the DEI masters. All they care about is immutable qualities. You'd think they'd be thrilled. I mean, he meets.
They didn't even say that about Cash.
I know. They both literally meet their only qualification for leadership anymore, and that is that you're not white. So I don't understand where they're even coming from with all this. He's Italian German. Okay, so technically, I guess he is white.
When he's described on his show that he is white.
Okay. Well,
I mean, as the way he defines it, he's like I'm a bunch of things, but he said I'm not African American. Is what he said.
Oh, okay. Well, fooled me. I don't know the guy that well, obviously, but Kash Patel, I guess, would be another example of that. Where they're going after his qualifications. Again, the only thing that they care about qualification-wise is what you look like, what's between your legs, and who you like to have sex with. That's really typically all that matters to these people. So I find it funny that they're so worried about his work history, his resume, his CV. But anyway, I digress.
I got something to add to this one.
Go ahead.
So their whole thing about what they're saying now is that they're concerned. They're concerned, Adel, that there's two conspiracy theorists in the FBI, and that aren't they going to have to explain to all of their people that they've been telling these conspiracy theories to, that once they've gotten in there and they found out, oh my gosh, we've been spouting conspiracy theories. And are they going to actually tell people that, you know what, the FBI doesn't actually know who the pipe bomber is on January 6th? There is no deep state, but are they going to come clean? So they're setting up some sort of like some kind of a test for Patel and Bongino with this, where they're going to ask them, hey, now that you've seen behind the curtain, are you going to repent all of your conspiracy theory talk?
So, Ken, you and your colleagues have been digging into Dan Bongino's years-long history of pushing conspiracy theories, criticism of the FBI. You know, to Chris's point, that is a question a lot of people have. Is Dan Bongino there to run an agency or to dismantle it? What do his words over the past many years tell us about that?
Well, Chris, he has actually suggested, particularly after the Mar-a-Lago raid, he said repeatedly that the FBI should be disbanded. Irredeemably corrupt was the phrase that you cited. He said it's beyond repair, essentially. Now, he's not saying that right now, and, you know, we'll have to see how it goes, but it's clearly, they have two people now in charge of the FBI at the senior-most positions who have spent years denouncing the FBI and painting the specter of a deep state, a cabal within the FBI, without any evidence of that.
Yep, no evidence.
And so now they're confronted. Now they're going to be inside. They're going to be running the place. Dan Bongino, the first time he's in public with reporters, he's going to be asked, well, can you tell us the name of the pipe bomber? You said that the FBI was covering that up, right? So he's either going to have to come clean and explain to his followers that the conspiracy theories he was trafficking in are false, or he's going to have to. It's going to be a total contradiction. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Or he'll say, yeah, we know who he is, and we've already arrested him.
Well, you know, there's another option there.
Yeah, they actually were covering it up.
Chris, which is what we saw, for example, in the false theories that the 2020 election was stolen. We have evidence coming. We have tons of information. We have lots of evidence. They never actually showed it, right? But do you see that scenario happening? And how do you answer that?
So on day one, he's going to meet agents just like me. I was your average FBI agent. I'm a former Marine, a combat veteran who spent his entire life dedicated to this country, its protection, and the security of its citizens. Politics never entered into it. As a matter of fact, like most FBI agents, I'm probably a little more right-leaning, and I'm not a registered Republican, but I could very well be. Politics are never discussed. So he's going to meet people just like me and be confronted with the truth, which Kash Patel already knows. Dan Bongino is actually going to be confronted with it now. Does he admit his mistakes? Does he fall on his sword and communicate to his 8.5 million followers on his podcast that, oh, I had it all wrong? These are actually committed professionals dedicated to this country, which is what the FBI is.
I don't want to be hyperbolic, but are political leanings that might influence the way someone behaves in a role like an FBI agent or somebody who's charged with the security of this country, the enemy of the security of this country?
Well, I would know because politics never entered into it. It's kind of, I joke about it, but it's true. It's like going into a good Irish pub. No politics and no religion are discussed. It's just not considered appropriate for what you're doing. You conduct legal investigations based on the law. You conduct operations and arrests based on your mission, not based on any bias you may have. It's just factually inaccurate. And again, I'm not some liberal telling you this. I am like many other FBI agents, committed veteran, committed national security servant, and we're just committed to protecting this country and securing the Constitution.
Christopher O'Leary, Ken Delaney, and great reporting by you and your colleagues, by the way. Thank you both very much.
There we go. So there you go. There's only two options.
Yeah.
They say. Because obviously they're going to find out that there's nothing to any of their assertions or allegations. So are they going to come clean and tell everybody they were lying about the deep state?
It's so funny to me.
And if you've been watched Bongino's show at all, you know that he brings up Ken Delanian quite a bit, which was that guy right there, the guy saying that he's going to be confronted with that question. So that's just funny to me. It's all coming full circle.
Yeah, no, it really is, and it leads right into this perfectly. This is Enrique Tarrio talking with Jim Hoft about how they tried to pressure him into lying about Donald Trump's role on January 6th. Just keep that in context with the backdrop of what that guy just said on MSNBC about, oh, there's no politics involved. We wouldn't do that. Take a listen to this.
Well, here's another first from the Gateway Pundit, right? Mm-hmm. Which was the first one to report this. And you know what? You know when I found that out that I was a pawn? When they decided to stick me in a room and push a paper in front of me, a narrative, not even asking for the truth, a narrative that the person who instructed me to try to overthrow the government that day was Donald J. Trump, right? Wow. They wanted me to throw Donald J. Trump under the bus. The president of the United States, they wanted me to throw him under the bus. And they literally said, next week, we will grant you a bail hearing and you will be bailed out, right? And you go home free and you will never serve a single day in prison. Not if you say the truth, right? Not if well, you tell us the truth and we'll minimize your sentence. No, they're like, well, you say what's on this paper, right? Which was me blaming the president, and you don't have to serve a single day in prison anymore. After your bail hearing, obviously, because the judge has to approve. And I'm sure Timothy J. Kelly would have approved this. They wanted me to throw the president under the bus, and when I told them no, that's why they gave me 22 years, which is pretty much a life sentence, you know? I still consider myself a young guy. I was 38 years old at the time.
Yeah.
You know? But that is a life sentence.
Yeah, 60. That's crazy. Now, when did they push that at you? Was that after you were
No, that was before trial.
Before trial.
Yeah, before trial. They're like, look, you don't have to go to trial. You don't got to testify against your own guys. All you got to do is testify against them, and you get to go home scot-free. No problem.
I hope that that Kash Patel pays attention to this video, and Pam Bondi and our friend Dan Bongino, so that they can look into who this was that pushed that paper across the table to you. And we don't even have to mention that today, but I hope they look into that, because that is one of the most disgusting things I've heard. And I think most Americans, and I would pray that not just Republicans, that Democrats would be just appalled that that's what they did to you. It's disturbing that our government would do something like that.
Yeah, and it's real. You know, this is.
There you go. Not political at all. You know, just pushing for a narrative, offering a get out of jail free card, essentially, if you're willing to lie and add to the narrative or help to get Donald Trump. So I was kind of perfect the way you put that in there. Right before I went to the Enrique Tarrio video from the Proud Boys, talking about his experience being prosecuted by the FBI and DOJ over January 6th. Any reaction to that there, Pinata?
Did you see that over the weekend, the one of these failed Never Republican conferences tried to blame a clearly fabricated bomb threat on Enrique Tarrio?
No.
Yep.
Wow.
And so it was all your favorite January 6ers, your Adam Kinzinger, Michael Fanone, Dunn, all of the, Conway, Chris Christie, John Bolton. And so they had this emailed threat, totally anonymous. And as a matter of fact, let me just show you.
Okay.
Because this is one of the most pathetic attempts that I think I've ever seen. And considering it's Fanon, so if we're here, you look at who's mentioned the most and who's targeted more than once. Well, Fanon, and we already know. Did you remember I showed you what they said that they brought his mom on? You remember me showing that to you? It was
Not
about a
really.
month or two ago.
Honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Where there was an incident where she supposedly was raking leaves, and a car came over and sort of and called her traitor. You don't remember that?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So anyway, so he's brought his mom into this a bunch of times anyway. So anyway, check listen to this supposed letter that they received.
Loud. To honor the J6 hostages recently released by Emperor Trump, I've constructed 4 pipe bombs out of 1x8-inch threaded galvanized pipes, end caps, kitchen timers, some wires, metal clips, and homemade black powder. I recently placed one in the room I rented at the JW Marriott at 1331 Pennsylvania Ave in D.C. It is rigged to explode as soon as the door next opens. I also shoved another pipe bomb down the toilet in the bathroom nearby where the principal's first summit is being held. Mark Cuban, Chris Christie, John Bolton, George Conway, Michael Ludig, Adam Kinzinger, Michael Steele, Jeff Duncan, Bill Kristol, Frank Figluzzi, Glenn Kirshner, Stephen Riker, Norm Eisen, and especially Michael Fanone all deserve to die. In that spirit, the third device has been placed inside Michael Fanone's mother's mailbox, which is rigged to explode when it opens. Currently, I'm nearby John Bolton's home. By the time you've read this email, the final device will have been deposited inside of his mailbox and rigged to explode in the same way. To my family, I simply did what needed to be done. MAGA. Okay.
You buying it?
No.
And of course, what do they go on to talk about here? Specifically that, hey, who typically investigates this? The ATF in conjunction with the FBI. And who's heading that up? Kash Patel. Can they honestly give us a real investigation into this thing? So along with the whole January 6th stuff and the pipe bomber, that I find is way too freaking convenient for them to me, this is Michael Fanone. This is considering that there was a confrontation between Tarrio and Fanone. Remember that was from from during that same time period where he got arrested for swatting someone's phone away, I think is what they arrested him for. After they were all in his face.
Yeah,
and
I vaguely remember that, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of stupid to go do anything in DC at the moment. I mean, just
right.
Let it breathe a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
But the point is that I think the chain of events was that the confrontation happened and then this threat came. So my guess is this is Fanone or someone like that, because of the way that was worded, the way that it was, I mean, yeah, just the whole thing just screams to me. It's all Jesse Smollett level, kind of crazy, stupid,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like another hoax to me. Not even a good one or believable one, honestly. But just where we're at, I guess, is they're going to continue to throw anything they can at the wall right now to see what sticks. I mean, they're in a very desperate place. Like when you're doing your show, Pinata, like is there any like organization or coordination to how they're trying to deflect from what's happening right now? Or are they still feeling like very scattered and lost?
It's kind of scattered.
Yeah.
They fall back on the same thing. Not qualified, political appointee. How can they possibly handle blah 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 thousand numbers of this agency? It's all that you played the clip with Scott Jennings. It's like how their default is he has no experience running 34,000 employees. He has no it all comes down to they're not qualified. And that's it, or it's concerning because of political innings. That's every single time. And really, this is kind of the first time they've brought up something specific with related to Bongino, specifically with the pipe bomber for January 6th. And so that's the first time that I think a lot of people on the left even are like, wait a minute, they don't know who that is. That's weird. Yeah. So it'll be interesting that they're going to have to report on this, because what they're gonna Bongino's gonna say something or Kash is gonna say something and they're just gonna not show it and not play the clip, or what? I mean, maybe who knows, that they're definitely capable of that. But if the facts lead someplace that's uncomfortable for them, we're kind of in uncharted waters here. So I don't know what they're going to do. I know that they'll try to obfuscate. I assume that they'll try to say whatever they're doing is somehow fabricated, that there's no evidence, or that there's whatever evidence they provide, they'll say is not definitive. They're going to have to be essentially metaphorically be dragged kicking and screaming into the truth.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they, like, when the stuff really starts becoming sealed, and if we get the information we think we're going to, and how are they going to cover it? Are they going to cover it? Are they going to just pretend it's not happening? Are they going to scream dictator and political prosecution? It's gonna be fascinating to see MSNBC's reaction, or will they just completely implode at that point and not even exist as we know them today? Like, will they just be kind of taken off the board because they're completely inept and irrelevant? No one's watching or taking them seriously anymore. I don't know, but it's going to be kind of a fun dynamic to see play out. But we're going to go ahead and take our mid-show break here. We'll go exclusively to pill.net on the other side. I put the links in all the live chats for you guys. It's also in the Rumble description underneath the stream. So those of you guys watching on Rumble, Twitter, Cloud Hub, DLive, Odyssey, anywhere that's not pill.net, get on over to pill.net for hour number 2. I want to get into some Doge stuff. I got a video from CNN I want to play and talk about more of the Doge cuts and things like that. And then I also want to get into MSNBC's shakeup. And then I've got a handful of other, like a hodgepodge of random things that we might get into if we have time after we talk about Doge and MSNBC a bit more in the second half. So jump on over again, pill.net at 412 Productions is where to find us. Links are out there. If you can't get to the links, all you got to do is type in pill.net to your browser and find us over there. Again, that's 412 Productions. See you guys in about 45 seconds.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family, and if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back in the studio here for the second half of our show. Big thank you to all of you guys out there who have jumped over from our other platforms to continue hanging out with us on this Tuesday afternoon. If you're not going to come over to pill.net, no worries. We will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. 45-1 Actual and the No Prisoners podcast fam will be joining us. We'll have 45-1, Kevin, Feisty, always a great time when they stop by and hang out with us. So very much looking forward to that. So jump on over to Pills for the 5 o'clock hour, or we'll catch you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Have an awesome rest of your Tuesday if we're not going to see you here in the comfy bunker.